prominent sons and daughters of Rivers State has continued to applaud the capacities and doggedness of the governor, Governor Fubara, in conducting a seamless local government election and resisting the attempt by police IG to sabotage the conduct of the election.
Dr. Austin Tam George joining us. He is a former commissioner for information in Rivers State and a senior executive at Harvard. Right? Did I get it correctly?
Former senior executive.
Yes, former senior executive at Harvard. Dr. Tam George, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you.
Yeah.
You are from Rivers State. You are a former commissioner of information in Rivers State. In fact, you worked with the former governor, Wike, and now FCT minister. When you watch, the turn of events in the last couple of months, I wonder how it makes you feel, particularly because of the implications for governance at the grassroots, and how this will pan out eventually. Professor Adibi was talking about the president's statement being political, which is not focused on 2027. What will be the test of that statement at the end of this month, when local government local government funds would need to be transferred to the account of local government directly? Would you see statesmanship or another round of litigation?
Well, first of all, you made reference to me serving in the administration of Wike, who is now the FCT minister. I'm very disappointed in what the minister is doing. He's the one orchestrating this. He's the one who has set forth, a process to destabilize the state. I was Commissioner for Information in the previous administration. And so I'm highly disappointed in the minister. What I expected him to do was to, focus on his mandate. He's got a clear administrative mandate in the FCT. FCT has one of the worst public schools in Nigeria. He has a full plate there, in order to deliver service, but he's not doing that. Instead, he's focusing on how to destabilize Rivers State. And obviously, the Rivers people are going to resist him at every turn. What I expected, the FCT minister to do was to say, look, I've had my time in government, now I've got to focus on what I have in Abuja. But concerning what is happening now, going forward in terms of the local government elections. The elections were very peaceful on Saturday. All the 23 local government areas, the LGAs, the LGA chairmen have now been sworn in by the governor. Starting from today, I expect them to go to the councils, set an agenda for development, because the rural areas in Rivers State have long been abandoned, for so many decades. Now we have a chance where the Supreme Court itself has given a judgment classifying, recognizing the LGAs as politically and financially autonomous tiers of government. So what this means is that in addition to the powers that the LGA chairpersons now have, we are going to look for how they can establish corresponding structures of accountability to make sure that the resources that are then deployed to these LGAs are properly used. That's one part. The second part is that they need to have a service delivery agenda, because, there has been a disproportionate attention on just the politics of it. What about the actual service delivery component of it? That has never been in the discussion, unfortunately, over the past few decades. So what we need to see now is a clear developmental agenda that will be led by the governor. In fact, I expect the governor to have a quick retreat with the LGA chairmen, chairpersons who have just been elected, to say, look, this is the focus. Is it in terms of healthcare delivery system? In Rivers State, healthcare delivery system was abandoned for 8 years. I'm saying this because I was there. I was in the government. What about the states? The governor found out as he came into office that a lot of the schools in Rivers State do not have teachers. So what this means is that, in primary and secondary schools, the governor will have to work with the LGA chairpersons to make sure.
Under this current administration,
yes,
a lot of the teachers, schools do not have teachers.
Yes,
despite the huge investment in infrastructure under the past administration.
Yes, under the past administration of Nyesom Wike. So what the governor is doing now is to try to recalibrate the system to make sure that he brings effective, administration to the state. So for God's sake, let us allow Governor Fubara to do his work. Now that we have democratic structures in the LGAs, let them work with the governor and deliver service to over 8 million people who are residents in Rivers State. We do not have time for distractions, and I'm fully in support of the governor, so that he can deliver service to the people.
Do you worry for the funds of local governments in Rivers State that they may not be transferred due to the many litigations?
No, I have no worries at all. I mean, the elections have been conducted, the chairpersons have been sworn in, they are now democratically elected, which is a major fulfillment of, the Constitution. If you have any reservations about the elections that have just been conducted, there is an adjudicatory process that you can take advantage of. You go to court and litigate it. Rivers State has the High Court, so you litigate it. I suspect that in the coming days, maybe, the panel will be set up, for any litigations or complaints about the process. So you follow due process and litigate it. While the litigation is going on, the business of administration of the state and all the LGAs must go on. So I expect...
But what would happen if those funds are merged in litigation?
No litigation can stop allocation to local governments. This is a statutorily clear matter. The local governments, the states will have to receive their allocations as normal. If you have any doubts concerning the legitimacy of the electoral process, however, follow the adjudicatory process, litigate it, and let the decision be made by the courts.
So what would be the options be for Governor Fubara if those funds are withheld?
The funds cannot legally be withheld, in my opinion, because the elections have been conducted. The local government chairpersons have been sworn in. The requirements for a democratic system has been established. So there is no basis in law for anyone, to withhold the funds. But I recognize that there is a desperation on the part of the FCT minister to try to, first of all, create conditions for the declaration of a state of emergency, which has not succeeded so far because there are no conditions. Now, secondly, I expect them to, send, all kinds of frivolous petitions to the federal government to try to withhold funds. That would be manifestly illegal because there is no basis for that. So I believe that the allocations will continue to be, made to the state government and to the local government area so that they can deliver service to the people. You can't withhold funds because of the feelings of a single individual. It will be manifestly illegal for the federal government to do that. And I suspect that no federal government responsible, enough, and caring enough for the welfare of the people will withhold funds, which means that civil servants will not be paid, developmental projects will not be executed. That would be a manifestly legal thing to do. I don't think the federal government will do that.
Well, the coming days will prove, a test for that situation. But Dr. Tam George, you have worked with former Governor Wike and now FCT Minister in the past, and I recall that you resigned your appointment, somewhere down the line, I think during the first tenure. Am I correct?
Yes.
Now, Governor Bala Mohammed, who witnessed the swearing-in, said on Sunday, that was yesterday, that of course measures for reconciliation will be explored, that you cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater. Those were his words. And he says that because, of course, the current governor and the former governor have come a long way. From your experience working with former Governor Wike, what would you project to be the outcome of efforts of reconciliation, which would not be the first, by the way?
Well, look, to be honest, Nyesom Wike is not a rational actor. He's an autocrat. He's either his way or the highway. So if you are talking about reconciliation, I suspect that what Bala Mohammed must be referring to is to suggest that this is somehow a personal problem. This is not a personal problem between for the FCT minister and the governor. What I think, is unfortunate is that the media has somehow characterized this as a personal problem. I don't see it as a personal difference. What I see is that there is a struggle between God, wish of the former governor, the FCT minister now, to control the state, versus the governor Fubara trying to make sure that the sovereignty of the rivers people prevails. So it's not really a personal difference. I see it more as an ideological tussle, whether one person will control the state or whether the people themselves will control the state. I don't see how you can reconcile this, because the governor has already set an agenda that revolves around the ideology of rivers people first. So if the FCT minister wants to work with the governor, it should be around the notion of service delivery to the people, recognizing the sovereignty of the people, making sure that resources meant for River State are used for the development of River State. This is what the governor's agenda is. So if they are talking about reconciliation, it has to be the FCT minister accepting that the people's wish in River State must prevail. So it's not really a personal difference. I see it more as an ideological difference, whether the will of the rivers people will continue or not. Now, another point, that has always, dominated conversations around this issue is about political structures. As you said, I served in the previous administration. The previous administration failed. I personally resigned from the administration because I had fundamental objections about public policy, about the direction of the state under the Wike administration. For instance, we had the highest number of out-of-school children in the South because teachers were not paid for 8 years. Throughout the 8 years Wike was in government, pensioners were not paid. Gratuities were not paid. So what kind of structure is this? For me, it was a criminal structure that had no responsibility to the people at all. Now, what is happening is that the governor has rejected this ideology of privatization of the state capture, and he is saying that, look, we must begin now to use resources responsibly in a way that will benefit the people. He's now paying gratuities, he's now paying pensions, he's recalibrating the schools, he's making sure the healthcare delivery system is getting to the people. And now with the institution of the local government structures, what he's doing is to make sure he drives development to the local rural areas through the LGAs. So what is happening is actually a complete, rethinking of our public administration in Rivers State, and I'm very proud of what the governor is doing right now.
And Dr. Tam George, I urge you to be temperate in some of your choice of words. Criminal structure, irrational.
No, I mean, if you don't,
strong.
Yeah, no, look.
And I recall that, initially, when you first exited the administration, you had been more, economical with words about the reasons for your exit. Does it now seem, correct me if I'm wrong, but does it now seem as if you're now taking a position, a categorical position, because of the turn of events in River State, and now you would rather be open about the character of the person that you
look, I was in the system and I made it very clear that we can't continue like this. We had over 1,000 students abroad and in Nigeria who were on government scholarships. The governor decided to defund the state scholarship board, abandon the students abroad, and some of these students who were medical students became janitors in Europe, the US and the Caribbean. A lot of these students were abandoned. So I couldn't accept this. I didn't go to government to serve myself. We went into government with the agreement that we are going to deliver service to the people, and I decided to resign. And my positions were very clear, to both the governor then, and my positions have always been in the public domain. So now I feel very strongly about what is happening, because the governor now, Governor Fubara, has made it clear he will not continue like that, and that we need to make sure there is development in Rivers State. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. For a country for a state with our kind of resource profile, we can't possibly allow that to continue. The past 8 years were wasted years, and the governor has made it very clear we cannot continue on that trajectory, and I think we should support him.
They have, however, noted that the large support that is being enjoyed by the Rivers State Governor, Governor Fubara, clear testament that they are tired of being under the leadership of an emperor.
He's a former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Austin Opara, who joins us live from Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, Right Honorable Opara.
Thank you, Shehu. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. You are a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. But, I mean, in your lifetime, you've seen a situation where your party, the sitting ruling political party, went to the LG election, shot blank. APC, shot blank. Labour Party, shot blank. APP, which we, well, politically speaking, we do know, and a lot of Nigerians know, that this is perhaps driven by the state governor. But how do you describe that kind of political complexity? There has been the, well, the definition of reverse politics as of today.
Yeah, thank you, Shehu. What we are seeing, I'm finding now, is a situation that one man wants to control all the political structures in the state. That's where we are. You know, it's only crab that eats with two hands. Crab is eating with both hands. A man wants to be in control of APC structure. He wants to be in control of PDP structure in a state, in a democracy. How do you explain that? So we found ourselves, and I think the governor found himself in a situation where the party structure is not in his hands. So he stayed away from the election, but he insisted on conducting the election. And trust me, we should give credit to Governor Fubara, because from all indications, by the end of this month, if any state that does not have a democratically elected local government structure may not receive your money. What's the implication? It means that civil servants at local government level will not be paid, families will be deprived. So Governor Fubara was selfless in this situation, sacrificed and ensured that rather than his party, rather than go on party line, let there be an election so that the state will continue to benefit from the situation. And that's where we found ourselves. And for me, I have no difficulty with it. I voted yesterday, but the people who think that they are alpha and omega in control of all parties said they are not going to contest the election. But the election held.
But how do you describe it also as you are a party man? If there is a sitting governor who did not, who is said to have supported and built a structure for another political party and fed another political party in an election, how much of an anti-party, or how do you describe that kind of scenario?
Yeah, so you cannot describe that as anti-party, because his party where he belongs. And if you listen to his inauguration speech today at the swearing in, he said he's still a member of the People's Democratic Party. So his party opted out from the election. And how do you explain that? A PDP state, yet PDP's leadership in the state said they are opting out of the election. So he decided that the elections should hold. Now, let me make this point to you and to Nigerians. Benue had the election. Akwa Ibom had the election. Nobody heard about Akwa Ibom election or Benue election. But in Rivers State, I can tell you, look at the results. APP won 22. AA won 1 out of the 23 local governments. In the councillorship, 319 wards, about 6 or 7 parties won. That is to show you how liberal and how free the contest was in Rivers State. Benue is different. That's an APC state. APC won all the chairmanship slots and all the councillorship seats. So I think
let me ask you,
Governor Fubara deserves some.
Honorable Opara,
yes.
Let me ask you, you are a friend, a supporter, once a supporter, and a huge side player with former Governor of Rivers State, Wike. Where do you stand today?
Clearly, I'm a PDP member. I stand with Governor Fubara in Rivers State, and I stand with the people of Rivers State. And I say so without mincing words. Yes, you are right. I was with former governor Nyesom Wike. But let me even enlighten you and listeners a little more. In 2015, I was his chairman of his inauguration committee. In 2019, I was chairman of his inauguration committee. In 2019, I was his agent at the collation. In 2022, I was his agent at the presidential primary that he was thoroughly defeated by Atiku. Right? So, yes, we are political associates, but now we no longer are.
I mean, can one describe that as some kind of betrayal? And on the other side, you know what they're saying, that your likes are now fair weather friends. You were there, and some of you argued and debated in the emergence of Governor Similaye Fubara, whom some of the people in the PDP said it's unfair for Wike to have brought a Fubara to power. But now they say it's a fair weather situation for you now to be against Nyesom Wike. At what point did you depart from supporting Nyesom Wike?
Okay, so it's good to put the record straight. I told you that up till his primaries, I was his agent, right? So, and the primary came after the emergence of Governor Fubara, Sim Fubara, as the candidate of PDP in Rivers State. So his primary came after. But the point of disagreement was that he decided to leave, not to support the PDP candidate. And we said, no, we are loyal PDP members. We will support PDP all the way. So we worked for PDP Atiku, and we supported Sim for the governorship. So we are PDP. So that was the point of disagreement, where on his own he clearly felt, oh no, he cannot support PDP because he lost the primaries for governorship, presidency, and lost the bid to become the running mate to Atiku. So if it is a matter of betrayal, I can tell you that clearly he betrayed PDP and betrayed all of us. We all played major roles for his emergence in 2015, clearly, and he knows it. But today, all you hear is that he's the governor, he was the governor, nobody, clearly, you know, you've said it clearly. We all were part of making him. Two people that, aside God, first God, the next is former first lady, Patience Jonathan, another is Prince Uche Secondus, then we are the next level. But what is his relationship with all those people today?
So let me ask you, legally speaking, where do you think this election will stand in the eye of the law? This local government election, there is a substantive judgment of court saying that election as a K-leg, as far as those 7 points position of the Honorable Justice Wite's court in Abuja has come out to proceed that, look, there are issues and there are positions of court on that election. There are other court orders which are injunctive in nature that have come before that. There are those who legal minds who will say there's going to be a fundamental problem with that local government election. Are you worried about that?
Did I hear you say Justice Wike's court?
No, I didn't say Justice Wike. I didn't say Wike.
Oh, because I'm beginning to wonder. But let me respond to you clearly. Let me respond to you. Which was the first order of court that was gotten? It was the order that said the election should hold before the Federal High Court order that came. But beyond that,
no, one is an injunction. Just for a moment, sir, so that we can put perspective for our viewers to understand and not confuse them. The order coming from the High Court in Rivers State is an injunction, which is which expires. It has a deadline of which it can expire. But the judgment was a substantive judgment from the Federal High Court. So legally speaking, there are those who will say one is momentary, there is a more permanent one, which is a position of the Federal High Court. So that's perhaps the perspective. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, Sharon, let me even go with you without even conceding. Let's assume with what you've said. What is the lifespan of an interim order? 7 days, assuming. That order was given on the 30th. The election held on the 5th. Has it lapsed? But that is semantics. Let's go to the issue. Section 84 of the Electoral Act says no court can stop an election. And we should be careful because we are setting wrong precedent in this country. Otherwise, a court will give an order stopping the presidential election. A court will give an order. We should be careful. It's an election. And there are tribunals after. There is the tribunal, there is the appeal tribunal. Why don't they go there if there are issues? If there are issues. So the elections have held, and I'm sure you saw people voting. I voted yesterday. I'm sure you saw it. Rivers people voted, and today they were sworn in. So what is the issue?
Let me ask you quickly, so we wrap up this, Honorable Opara. Atiku Abubakar is coming out to say that Rivers people are resolute and reject oppression. Governor Fubara has said desperate situation calls for desperate actions. And I'm imagining that this is perhaps the first of a more troublesome legal and political times that we might be seeing in Rivers State going forward. But from your own standpoint, what kind of statement does the yesterday event or the event of the past days or today, the outcome of today, what does it portend for the politics of Rivers State?
Clearly, what it portends is that Rivers people are tired of oppression. Rivers people are tired of emperorship. Rivers people are tired of dictatorship.
Is there an emperor? Is there a dictator in Rivers politics?
There was.
Who is that?
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
Hold on.
You might want to expand.
No, you listen to me. You know the difference? The difference now is that we have a governor who wants to serve people, not to be served. Not a governor who Adolf Hitler is his mentor, or Trump. No, so this is the situation.
Who is the person you are talking about? It doesn't look like you're talking in Proverbs.
It's better to talk in Proverbs. I heard that.
Okay.
So Rivers people, what you have seen within these few days is that Rivers people feel liberated. Rivers people are happy. They came out in their numbers to vote, and they are excited. So you have your reporters in Port Harcourt. Let them go to the streets of Port Harcourt and see the excitement in the mind and the faces of the people of Rivers State.
Thank you so much indeed. But if there is a way to resolving these political problems in Rivers State, what would you suggest? You are an elder statesman as far as the politics of Rivers State is concerned.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm an elder, and I say it I've said it, and I'm repeating. Clearly, the way forward is we have a sitting governor. If you are dissatisfied with him, be patient till 2027. Prepare yourselves, go to the polls. If you defeat him, so be it. But for now, there's a sitting governor because the state is suffering from all the bickerings. The state needs peace so that we can continue to develop and get ourselves better.
All right.
But Sean, before you go, let me make a point to you. Let me make a point, please. Listen, I went to vote yesterday because Nigerians should see this. We should condemn the action of the police. They said they were backing out of the election, no problem. But until I got to voting point and came back, I never saw one police on the road. The normal police blockade on the road, they removed. So it could be described that police yesterday in Rivers State were on strike. If there was robbery, the people would have gone free. If there was kidnap, they would have gone free. But another dimension to it is that we can hold elections in this country without police. That's one message that has come out from the Rivers State election.
All right. Right, Honorable Austin Opara, former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so that